So you're thinking about building a brand new home here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but you're a little bit nervous because you've never done that before and you're not really sure what to expect or what that looks like. Well, don't worry, because today in this video, I'm going to go over some of those steps. This way you can get a better understanding of what that process looks like. Hey, welcome back, and if you're new here, my name is Nick, and on this channel I talk about things to do here in Myrtle Beach. I give tips and advice about the area, and I'm a real estate agent, so of course I talk about the real estate. So if you are thinking about relocating to the area, then be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and tap the little notification bell while you're at it. This way you can be the first to know about what's going on here in Myrtle Beach. I get calls every single day from people just like you who are moving to the area. So if you ever have any questions, or if I can help you find home here at the beach, then I would love to chat with you. You can always use the first link down in the description to schedule a call with me. So as I mentioned, today we're going to be going over the process of building a new home here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We're going to focus on the tract home style builders, so not a custom home. These are your builders like Chesapeake, Pulte, Mungo Homes, Beezer, Toll Brothers. And we're not going to be talking about the spec homes because that's a little bit different. It's a lot more like buying a resale where the home is already on the lot and all of the finishes are picked out on the inside. You're still buying a new home, but everything is picked out for you. Again, we're going to focus on building from scratch with a tract home builder. Okay, so the obvious first step is figuring out what community you want to live in. After that, the next step is going to be picking out the floor plan or the model of home that you like, because a lot of the builders, they're going to section off their lots depending on what homes can fit on those lots. So once you've picked out the floor plan and you know what lots it can fit on, that's going to be your next step, is picking out the lot. And whatever is important to you is what you're going to want to focus on. Do you want to have woods backing up to your home? Do you want to be on a pond lot? Or are you okay with backing up to another neighbor if the lot is going to be a little bit more? Once you pick out your floor plan and your lot, some builders are going to have you put down a deposit to hold that lot. That's going to be if they can't go to contract immediately. Some reasons why they cannot go to contract immediately is because they have a certain quota of homes that they can start each month, and they may have already hit that. So if they can't start any more homes that month, they're not going to take you to contract until the following month. Sometimes there is a little bit of a waiting list, but again, they will let you put down a deposit to hold that lot and home package. Putting down that deposit also locks you in at today's prices in case the prices go up the next month. Now, that deposit is going to vary depending on the builder. They all have their own processes, but typically when you're putting down a deposit just to hold the lot, that's just going to be a dollar amount, maybe $5,000 or $10,000. Now, it is worth noting that you can't just come in and put down a deposit on the lot and hold that for 6 months or a year and then start building, right? All of the builders are going to want you to go to contract and start building immediately. But again, this is just in the case that they cannot start your home immediately because they already have too many homes going. Now, the next step is going to be going to contract, whether that's immediately after picking out the floor plan or lot, or waiting that 30 to 60 day holding period, depending on whether or not there was a waiting list with the builder. And again, that's going to vary depending on the community, the builder, and also the time frame of the year, right? Some parts of the year are busier than others. The contract process is going to happen with one of the sales reps for the builder. At this time, you're also going to pick out all of your structural options. So this is going to be the elevation of the home, which is what the front of the home looks like, right? A lot of the floor plans are going to have 4, 5, or 6 different fronts of the home. This way you can have the exact same home right next to each other, but they still look a little bit different. So it's going to include that. It's going to include, do you want a screened in porch? Do you want a gourmet kitchen, or are you okay with the standard kitchen? Do you have a one-level home but you want to add the bonus room on top? Those are all of your structural items. And some builders have a lot more structural items than that, but that's just to name a few. During the contract process is also when you're going to put down your earnest money deposit, which is different than the deposit to hold the lot. Now, obviously that money, if you did that, can go towards your earnest money deposit, but the difference is this earnest money deposit is going to be non-refundable, right? This is now when you are locked in. Again, it is non-refundable unless you back out of the contract for a reason that is in the contract, right? If you're getting financing and there's a financing contingency and for some reason you cannot get the financing, well, that is a reason why you would get your earnest money deposit back, but you can't just back out for no reason. This earnest money deposit is going to vary depending on the builder. Can go anywhere from a couple of $1,000s, again, $5,000 or $10,000, up to a percentage of the purchase price. Now, it's worth noting that that earnest money deposit does go towards your down payment at closing when that happens. Now, after the contract process, you've picked out your floor plan, you've picked out your lot, you've picked out all of your structural items. The next step is going to be going to the design center to pick out all of the finishes for your home. This stage typically happens within 30 days of signing the contract. Normally, it's not going to happen the same day that you sign the contract, though there are some builders like Beazer where they don't have a ton of options. Their design centers are typically right there in their model homes, and they can get all of that done the same day. But some of the other builders, they have specific design centers with specific designers that you're going to have to make an appointment to go see, again, within 30 days of signing that contract. This is going to be the time where you pick out all of your flooring, all of your fixtures for your sinks and your cabinets. You're going to pick out your cabinets, you're going to pick out your counters, you're going to pick out the tiles that go in your bathrooms, and you can do that all room by room. Now, this can definitely get pretty pricey. There are some builders out there like Toll Brothers that have all of the options that you can think of and more, a lot of options you probably didn't even think of, and some of them can get pretty pricey. So it's definitely a good idea to go into this meeting with a budget. This way you can go over all of that with your designer and they can keep you within that budget. A lot of times when you're doing the contract with the sales rep, they'll be able to give you a pretty good idea of what you can expect to spend in the design center, because they'll have different levels of cabinets and they'll kind of show you what that looks like. This way, you know, when you go to the design center, you're staying within level 2 or within level 3, and then you're just picking out the colors. This way, again, for all of those big ticket items in the design center, you have a pretty good idea of what the budget is. The next step after going to the design center is going to be to start construction on your home, and that can happen anywhere from a couple of weeks from that meeting to maybe a month or two out, depending on the builder and how many other homes they've already got going on at that time. About a week or two before the construction starts on your home, you will have a pre-construction meeting with the construction manager. Now, this typically happens via phone call or via Zoom. You definitely do not need to be here for that, but this is going to be the time that the builder goes over all of those structural items in your home before they start pouring the foundation. Most builders during this meeting are also going to go over the electrical plan for your home, and they're going to see if you want to add any lighting or electrical outlets that you didn't previously add in the design center. After this pre-construction meeting, the first thing they're going to do is pour the foundation. Once that's done, they're going to start framing your home. Once the framing and roofing is done on your home, then they're going to start what is called the rough-ins. This is going to be all of the electrical and plumbing that goes inside the walls of your home. Now, at this stage, after all of those rough-ins are complete, they're going to want to do what is called a pre-drywall walkthrough. Now, they like for you to be in town for this, but you don't have to be. But this is going to be your only opportunity to get into the home before all of the walls go up. So this gives you an idea of what is inside of your walls. You get to learn where all of your plumbing and electrical is in the walls. They also encourage you to take pictures in case you want to ever hang anything on your wall. You know where everything is. Now, most people come into this pre-drywall meeting without knowing anything that is going on, and that's totally okay. It's It's really just for the construction manager to kind of point things out and walk you through the home. Now, if you are concerned about making sure everything is okay inside those walls, you can always have what is called a pre-drywall inspection. If you haven't seen the video that I've done on that in the past, be sure to check that out in the description down below. Again, you can have a third party come in and inspect and make sure everything is up to code and looking good. After that walkthrough, they're going to put the drywall up, and then all of the fun stuff starts happening in your home pretty quickly. They start putting the cabinets in, they start putting the counters and all of the fixtures and flooring in your home. And again, this is the exciting stuff. You really get to see your home start coming together. Now, throughout all of these processes, you should be receiving updates from the construction manager. Depending on the company and who it is, you might receive those every week, or it might be a little bit more sporadic. I personally always like to send you updates as well, photos and videos. Depending on where the community is, you might receive those more often, because I just like to swing by whenever I'm in town and grab some of those pictures and videos. If it's somewhere that's a little bit further away from where I'm normally at, those are going to come a little bit less often. But if you're ever wanting more updates, always feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to get those for you. Now, depending on the builder, some of these stages might take a little bit longer, some of them might be a little bit shorter. About the fastest time a build is going to happen is going to be about 6 months. Some builders like Toll Brothers, they're going to take closer to 10 to 12 months. Again, that's all just going to depend on the builder and also the time of the year, if there's weather delays and things like that. Now, everything inside of your home should come together pretty quickly up until about 30 days before closing. Those last 30 days, it's going to seem like things are moving slow as they put all of the finishing touches and tie up all the loose ends on your home, but that's just normal and part of the process. Now, about 30 days out from your closing date, this is when you're going to start hearing from the closing coordinator from the builder. They are going to schedule your walkthrough and they're going to schedule your closing, again, about 30 days out from that closing. Now, the walkthrough, some builders call this the blue tape walkthrough, some call it a homeowner's orientation or a homeowner's walk. Either way, whatever they call it, this is going to happen anywhere from a week to 2 weeks before closing. Now, during this walkthrough, you're going to go through the entire home with the builder. I also like to be there myself, and you're going to go through room by room and you're going to point out any deficiencies or items that still need to be complete in the home. A lot of times you're going to find nicks or marks in the wall. You're going to put blue tape there. That's why they call it a blue tape walk, for the painters to come back through and fix before you're closing. Now, typically the stuff that you find during the walkthrough is going to be pretty minor, right? It's going to be a lot of paint and cosmetic stuff, but occasionally you do find stuff that is a little bit more major, right? Maybe an entire door needs to be replaced. Maybe there is a cabinet that's completely crooked that also needs to be replaced. You never know what you're going to find out, but again, most of this stuff is going to be minor and is going to be able to get fixed before closing. Again, that's why it's a week or two before closing, because it gives them an opportunity to take care of all those items. So again, you go through with the blue tape, you write a punch list out with the builder, and everybody signs off that it's all going to get done before closing. Personally, I think this is the most important meeting to be at. It's even more important than the closing because that can be done remotely via a mail away closing if it needs to be. I know it's exciting to be here for the closing because you get to see the finished product, you get to get your keys. But again, that walkthrough I think is more important because it's your only opportunity to go through the home with the builder and point out all of the items that need to be fixed before closing, and then you can make sure it's up to your standard. During this walk, the builder is going to also show you all of the important things in the home, the electrical panel, the main water shutoff, all the different drains and things that are on the outside of the home. They're going to show you how everything works and what to expect with your new home. They're also going to go over all of the warranty information. So typically with each builder, it might vary a little bit builder by builder, but most of them are the same. There's going to be about an 11 or 12 month warranty. This is mainly going to be for cosmetic items. Then there is going to be a 2-year mechanical warranty, basically everything that's inside the wall walls of your home, and a 10-year structural warranty. Also go over all of the warranties for all the appliances that are in your home, and they'll also show you how you can get the extended warranty on those by submitting all of the serial numbers and getting them registered. Okay, so the next step is closing. If you are here for that, then you will do another walkthrough either the day before or the morning of before closing, just to go over all of those items that were outstanding during the previous walkthrough. If there are any outstanding items still on the list, the builder will go over that for you. They'll write a new list and you guys will all sign off that those are going to be happening and taken care of after closing. Now, I do want to mention that having items during the blue tape walkthrough and having a couple of items right before the closing, it's totally normal. All the builders, they're going to get that taken care of for you. They're not going to leave you high and dry. Some people do get a little bit worried because it can seem like a lot, it can seem overwhelming. But again, it's just a normal part of the process. They don't like to have outstanding items at closing, but if you found something a week before closing at the walkthrough that they had to order a new part, maybe they had to order a new door or a new mirror because it was cracked and it just hasn't come in yet, things like that, it's okay to have that get pushed till after closing. Now at closing, if you're here for that, I always recommend that you wire the money for closing the day before. This way, the day of closing, that money is received and the builders can give you the keys right there at the closing table, and you can start moving into your new home. Now, moving into your new home, that's always the most exciting and fun part, though can also be the most physically demanding, moving in all of those heavy boxes and all of that furniture, but nonetheless still exciting. Now, while you're moving into your home, you might notice a couple of things that you didn't notice during the walkthrough just because there was a lot going on and it was a lot to go over. That's totally okay. Most builders are going to also offer a 2-week or a 30 days after closing walkthrough where you can put together a little punch list and they'll come in and take care of all that stuff for you. Now, after that 30 days, that's going to then take you to that 11 or 12 month walkthrough because things are going to happen in your home after closing. One of the common things as you go through the different seasons and the home starts to settle is you'll start to have nail pops in some of the parts of your home. Again, that is totally normal and will get taken care of at that 11 or 12 month walkthrough. Now, depending on the builder, that process is going to look a little bit different, right? Some of the builders, most of the builders, you're going to have to reach out to them with a list of items at that 11 or 12 month mark. There are a couple of builders though that will reach out to you and they'll schedule a time to actually come and walk through the home with you. So that process again is just going to vary a little bit depending on the builder. Now, all of their builders are going to have their own version of their warranty department, which anytime during that 12-month period, that first 12-month period, you can submit a claim if it's something that is super important and you can't wait until the 12-month mark to get it done. You can submit a warranty ticket, and if it's a big enough item or issue, they'll come out and take care of it almost immediately. Now, you do have to go through the process. Typically, you have to submit the ticket, then they're going to schedule a call with you, then they have to schedule the people to come out and fix it. So it's not immediate, but within a couple of weeks, it can get taken care of. Okay, we've gone over a lot, but I want to backpedal a little bit and go back through the walkthrough because I forgot to mention that at this time, you can also have another inspection, a third-party inspection, where they come through and check some of the items that you and I might not be qualified to look for, just to make sure all of the electrical and plumbing is working correctly. They're going to get on the roof and check the roof for you. So they'll check out some more of those big ticket items that, again, you and I might not be able to check out just by looking at them. So I always recommend that you have that done maybe a day or two before that walkthrough because you want it to be as close as it can be to the home being completed, but you want it to be done before the walkthrough. This way we can have that inspection report in hand and the builder can get all of those items on the punch list that you create during your walkthrough. Now, with that being said, you can also have a third-party inspection at your 11 or 12 month mark as well. If you'd like to have that done, you can always do that as well. And that's pretty much step by step what you can expect for building a home from scratch, from picking out your lot in your home all the way to moving into your new home. Now, I know it can be a lot. I know it can be stressful. I know your specific situation might vary a little bit, but remember, throughout the process, if you ever have any questions or concerns or you need updates, you can always feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to help in any way that I can. If you're ready to start building your brand new home here at the beach, then I'd love to help you and walk you through that process. You can always use the first link down in the description to schedule a call with me. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you hit that thumbs up button down below. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.